Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rhett. Got a video today from Men Only. Ex-wife's mother is upset that daughter was left with nothing after divorce. Please explore them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get the Showtime.
Thanks to you, my daughter has nothing. Nothing.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an emotional and intense story. Ex-wife's mother is furious after her daughter was left with nothing after divorce. We'll explore the details of the divorce, the reasons behind the outcome, and the broader implications for family dynamics and legal battles. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Let's jump right in and unpack this dramatic situation.
So I am newly separated, and it is not easy. Usually on this day, the 3rd, we would have a party, people over, but my life is very much entwined with his because I'm a transplant where we live, so I've basically been exiled. It's not funny. It's kind of sad, but this is hard. I'm doing okay, and I'm trying to just be okay with it, and I know it's the right thing, but I'm sure there's other people.
How do people know it's the right thing? Half the time, I don't even know what I'm doing is the right thing or not. I'm just assuming, and hopefully it turns out okay. People are just so into their minds and into their judgments.
That can relate, and if you're out there, just give me advice. I would appreciate it.
Female narcissism and misandry create many issues. This woman separated from her husband, and now she's on TikTok, playing the victim and seeking sympathy and validation. She feared that pushing further for a divorce would worsen her situation. And who's to blame? Not her husband, it's her. She thought the grass was greener on the other side, but forgot that it's greener where you water it. So, who cares about another woman leaving? Nobody. If she's doing okay, why would she come on TikTok to air her story? Throughout her entire video, she's full of regret. She's trying to hold herself together, but the regret is too strong. She's been influenced by the curated lives she sees online, always seeking something better and never satisfied with what she has. This constant pursuit of personal happiness comes at the expense of their families, causing marriages to crumble. This is the reality of modern relationships. Many women, influenced by social media, are always looking for something better.
I mean, how many stories have we heard of, my friend got married and she got all this and all that, and I didn't get anything. They always compare themselves to other people's lives, and on Instagram and on social media, it's worse. A lot of these people are lying.
They see the highlight reels of other people's lives and think they deserve the same. But in doing so, they neglect the effort and commitment required to maintain a healthy relationship. They fail to realize that true happiness comes from nurturing and investing in their current relationships, not from chasing an elusive ideal. These women are often quick to blame their partners when things go wrong, refusing to take accountability for their own actions. They paint themselves as victims, hoping to garner sympathy and validation from others. But in reality, they are the architects of their own misery. Their unrealistic expectations and constant dissatisfaction create a toxic environment that eventually leads to the downfall of their relationships. Men, on the other hand, are left to pick up the pieces.
Always.
They are often portrayed as the villains in these scenarios.
Always.
But the truth is far more complex. Men want peace and respect in their relationships. They value loyalty and commitment and are willing to work hard to provide for their families. But when faced with a partner who is never satisfied and constantly seeking something better, they are left feeling unappreciated and disrespected.
Thanks to you, my daughter has nothing. Nothing. And I want to know why the house was put in your mother's name when you've got 2 flashy cars on the drive. Sorry? Is that really the way to speak to your ex-mother-in-law? Is it?
Is he speaking back to her, or is he just laughing?
Well, it is, yeah. Listen here.
So could you please answer my question? Why is this house in your mother's name and not why did my daughter?
Well, why does it matter? Because his mom bought it, or he bought it in his mother's name. He bought the house for his mother. So what's the problem?
to not know about this?
Well, unlike your opportunistic. That's how you say the word. Opportunistic. That's how you say it. Daughter, yeah. Unlike her, I'm a very caring son. So I thought, well, I love my mother. Let me buy my mother a house in case
Damn
if
right.
I sadly maybe pass away before my mother,
No,
which is
I'm
unlikely,
sorry.
but it could be likely. So my mother has a nice, lovely
You didn't
house.
think to mention this to my daughter? You didn't think to mention it to
I
her?
didn't need to look.
Why would he need to mention that to her? She has a house to live in, does she not? Does she think that he owned it and so she could take half his shit? Was that the whole point of getting married to him? Like he said, opportunistic daughter?
I mean, she married you. She married you and she loved you and she
I
trusted
bet
you.
she did.
And all the time, her home, which she decorated and did things
Well,
for the
by
garden,
my
all that
expense,
jazz.
with my money.
Was it your money though,
It
or was
was
it
my
your
money,
mother's
though.
money?
Oh, my mum's money.
Oh,
Well, no,
see now. You ask him why the house is in his mother's name, and then now you shame him saying that he's using his mother's money. Pick one lane. If you're gonna flip flop like that, if it's his mother's money, then it makes even more sense why it's in her name and you can't fucking touch it.
bought it for my mum. It was a gift. It was a gift.
Really? And you couldn't buy flowers like most people do for their mothers.
Oh no,
You had
I
to-
got the flowers for your
Wow.
daughter. Hey. If
I'm
you
glad
look
you
there
found
as
this
well, yeah,
amusing.
if you look
I
there
am
as well,
so-
yeah, there's a nice little flower bush right there. If you want, you can take a flower as well. You can take two.
You
One for
are
you,
a
one for
very,
your
you
daughter.
are very, very cruel. You are very cruel.
I'm not
You are
cruel.
very, very
Intelligent.
cruel. I can't believe my
Intelligent.
daughter was married to you.
Intellectual is what
I
you
don't
can
think you're
call me.
intelligent. I don't.
Intellectual is what you can call me.
You,
Then.
if
Because
you were
your little
intelligent,
opportunistic
you wouldn't have
daughter,
put the
yeah,
Yeah,
house
she
in
is
your
quite
mother's
smart.
your
name.
little narcissistic daughter, she played this whole thing like a game.
Narcissistic?
Yes, love.
I suppose you even know what that means.
Well, love, I know
Narcissistic, because you
what
certainly
the
don't know how
words
to
mean.
write your
And
name
I
down on the
played this
house.
game like a game
Sorry?
of chess, and I won.
That he did. That he did.
Is it all about? It's not all about winning, you know.
Well,
This was
well,
about
it was with
trust
her.
and
She's
Oh, now it's about trust and love and bull fucking shit.
You know what? She set up everything like a game of chess. Cool, there's a house here, there's cars here, there's businesses here, there's everything. We have a great life. Cool, let me just take it all. She got nothing.
You have got. Do you think maybe? Oh, do you know what? Karma's a bitch. Karma is a
It
bitch.
is.
Yeah, exactly what your daughter just got.
That's
You will
why
get your
I got it
comeuppance,
all.
don't you
She got
worry.
Nothing.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're finding this funny. I really can't believe you're finding this. My poor daughter has nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
poor.
nothing. And you're just laughing at her face. Absolutely
So,
taking
like,
it
let me
away.
teach you some wise words from a great philosophy.
Oh my God. Wise words.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Let me quote
If I
you some
wanted
wise
wise
words
words,
from a
I'd
great
put a dictionary.
philosophy, yeah?
If I wanted
You better
wise
check
words,
yourself
I'd put a
before you
dictionary.
wreck yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Via Ice
Who do
Cube
you
et
think
al., alright?
Yeah,
You better check
Oh
yourself
my
before you
gosh,
wreck
you have
yourself.
no idea.
Via Ice
You
Cube et
have
al.
no idea.
And if that's all,
What does your
love,
mother say about it?
oh,
No, it's not. I
she's
need to get this
ecstatic.
resolved.
My mum's ecstatic over it. She's got a few cars and another house.
why would his mom be upset that he was able to keep all of his assets after a divorce? Why would she be upset?
She's killing it on the property ladder.
So, this conceited ex-mother-in-law showed up at her former son-in-law's house to gripe about why her daughter got flowers instead of a house after the divorce, but it didn't go as she planned. She had no idea that her ex-son-in-law had just earned a distinction in his PhD program in real estate management from Hakimi University. You get the drift, and the rest is history. The outcome remained the same. Did she expect him to just hand over his house? Women and manipulations go hand in hand. Here's the thing. She claims her daughter loved him so much that she divorced him, and now she's upset because she didn't get to keep half of his assets? That sounds like a scammer yapping because
Yep.
the victim didn't fall for it. The daughter tried to play the game but failed. And now the mother is trying to get her a consolation prize. Pathetic. She's strong and independent and doesn't need a man, right? She can get herself her own house, or maybe ask the bear to buy her one. Take what women are willing to give, but don't give them the power to just take because they will. They are only strong and independent after.
Yes, men. Remember, you give them an inch, they take a foot. You give them a foot, they take a fucking yard. You give them a yard, they're taking miles. So do not give them that inch. Give it the full amount.
After they take half from the husband. This whole scenario is a perfect example of how some women operate under the guise of strength and independence, only to rely on manipulation and deceit to get what they want. They talk about being self-sufficient, but are quick to play the victim card when things don't go their way. It's a sad state of affairs that men have to be so guarded, constantly on the lookout for potential traps set by those who claim to love them. Hakimi's strategy was a smart move. He protected his assets and didn't fall for the manipulation. His ex-wife and her mother can complain all they want, but the fact remains that he played the game better. Men need to be aware of these tactics and safeguard themselves against such schemes. The legal and societal landscape heavily favors women in divorce proceedings, so men must take precautions. In the end, men should remain vigilant and protect their interests. The narrative of the strong, independent woman often crumbles when faced with real challenges. The truth is, many women rely on manipulation and deceit to get what they want.
Yep.
And men need to be aware of this dynamic. Protect yourself, be smart about your assets, and don't fall for the trap.
And that's why I love these videos. We get little different scenarios, just little tweaks of the same scenario that might tweak enough to fit your life, to fit your thing. Because remember, life is very nuanced. It is correct that, women love to argue the nuance thing. They are somewhat correct. Life is very nuanced. Each individual person experiences things quite differently. But as a whole, we still experience things very similarly.
Hakimi set a great example, and more men should follow his lead.
What are you looking for in a man?
I'm looking for a loyal man and doesn't cheat on me, and also they give me like princess treatment and is not what is this, asozial?
Antisocial.
Yes, antisocial. Who just loves me, and yes, I think loyalty is the number one. Yes.
Okay. You made some bad experiences with loyalty?
I haven't had a boyfriend yet, but I have like situationships, and they always like cheat on me. I don't know if it's called, if you can call it cheating.
You literally call it situationship. How the fuck is it cheating? You didn't fucking require these men to be in a relationship with you. Ladies, stop it. Like, get some brains. Require the relationship.
But yes.
Okay.
And what does she have to offer in return for loyalty? You earn a princess treatment. You don't demand it. Here's the thing. A situationship is another version of the male friend zone.
Yep.
Yet she wants a loyal man. She has a bunch of men sitting in the friend zone and is still looking for the one. She clearly has a problem. She doesn't know what a relationship is, apparently. Her situationships show she's making a lot of bad choices so far at her age.
Yep.
She demands loyalty, but doesn't reciprocate it. She expects a man to treat her like a princess without offering the same respect and commitment in return. Loyalty is earned through mutual respect, understanding, and effort, not demanded. It's not a one-way street where she gets everything she wants while the man is left feeling unappreciated and disrespected. Her expectations are unrealistic. She thinks she deserves the perfect man who will cater to her every need without considering what she brings to the table. A relationship is a partnership where both individuals contribute equally to its success. If she's not willing to put in the effort, she can't expect to receive the loyalty and devotion she desires.
I can tell you guys, my cousins that got married and they're the wealthiest. You know how hard they work together? My cousin bakes and takes care of all the apartments and stuff. My male cousin, which married into my family, which we got confused about this last time. My female cousin is my real cousin, and then her husband is, I call him my cousin too. So it's just a normal thing for us. But yeah, he handles everything. He works 18-hour days almost. She works almost 18-hour days. They both work 18-hour days, but they live with my aunts, and all my aunts have other ants living in there. So it's just like a big house with 2 stories that probably like 10 plus people live in. That someone cooks, there's always food around, everybody gets to go eat together or separate. It doesn't matter, food's always in the fridge. That's how it was. And how it's not that hard to work hard together. And when you do, they're millionaires. They own 10 units of apartments plus a multi-million-dollar donut shop. It's not that hard in a sense if you worked together. That's it. There's so many people in the United States that always want to put one on the other. No, if you just both worked at 100% or even both at 90%, save some 10% for the family or whatever it is, you're both going to be very successful when you work together. You pool your money together to be able to achieve greater things. I'm talking about family and when you get married or with a partner. Same thing.
Moreover, her habit of keeping men in the friend zone while still searching for the right one is problematic. It shows a lack of respect for the feelings and time of those men. She's keeping them around as backups while she continues her search, which is unfair and selfish. This behavior demonstrates her inability to commit and invest in a genuine relationship. She needs to take a step back and reflect on her choices. Her current approach is clearly not working. Instead of blaming men for her failed relationships, she should look inward and take accountability for her actions. She needs to understand that a successful relationship requires effort, compromise, and mutual respect.
Damn right.
Demanding loyalty without offering the same in return will only lead to disappointment and further failed relationships.
So this woman is dating this man, and it goes well, and then all of a sudden, he pulls away. And he kind of fades out for a few weeks, and she's like, I don't get it. It was going really well. We got along well. I don't...
See, this is the thing. It's one-sided. Just because you think it's going well, you think everything is good, you like him, doesn't mean he feels the same way about you.
Don't get it. And she's perplexed. And yeah, she goes out with her girlfriends, and yeah, she steps out with another guy. She's like, we'll see what happens. But she doesn't like it. She's still thinking about the other one. She doesn't get it. And then all of a sudden, that other guy returns. I'm so sorry. I totally fell away. I spaced out. I this, I that, blah, 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 blah. And I say to her, my thinking is this. You were not his top choice.
Nope.
There were other women, perhaps another woman, one,
most
that
likely
he had his sights set on. A little crushy crush. And she rejected him. For the last time, you hope. And that's what inspired him to come looking for you. When a man is sure about you.
Yes and no. This is a possible scenario. Or he liked it. He didn't like her enough to commit to her, but he liked the sex, and yeah, he could probably use the sex again. That's some men do it like that.
He is going to maintain momentum. He is not going to be flaking out, dating you strong for 2 months and then backing away. That does not happen. This dude had someone else, maybe an ex that he thought he would get back with, maybe another woman that was up here in the roster.
True.
And you were somewhere over here, so he had time. Oh, let me see where this goes with this girl. I like this girl. She's a good girl. Probably better girl than the number 1 spot girl, but I don't know. There's something about her. I just gotta have her. And she rejected him. So he came back looking for her. What do you think? What do you think about my theory? Why do men go on strong, couple of dates, 2 months worth?
Well, we have to go on strong or else we can't get the sex. If we went on going, like lackadaisical and not at 100%, you really think we're going to get a relationship or women or to sleep with us? Unless you're a Chad or Tyrone type, you might have to go 100%. But most men somewhat have to put in some effort. And when we put in effort for 2 weeks and we get what we want, or we don't get what we want, why would we continue giving the same amount of effort?
Worth of dating, get people's hopes up. Oh, so good. And then all of a sudden cool off. Fade away, only to reemerge. Why do they do this? Comment in the comment.
Dating apps for women are like candy stores for little kids. Period. He probably saw a bunch of red flags and had to think about it for a while.
Yep.
You have no idea how men think. Just because women have a backup plan doesn't mean that men do. Until we're sure about you, you're not the priority. Men are often more cautious and calculated when it comes to relationships. They observe, they analyze, and they take their time. If a man is hesitant, it's likely because he's seen things that make him question the long-term viability of the relationship. Women might have a string of options lined up, but men don't operate the same way. Men want stability, peace, and respect in a relationship. If they sense drama, unrealistic expectations, or any form of manipulation, they're likely to take a step back. The constant access to potential partners through dating apps can make it seem like women are always on the lookout for the next best thing. But men aren't as quick to jump from one relationship to another. They're more likely to weigh their options carefully. Ladies, if you want to be a priority, show that you're worth prioritizing. Bring value, peace, and stability into the relationship. Understand that men need to feel secure in their decision to commit. Show them that you're not just another option in their life, but someone who brings positive energy and reliability. So, if he's taking his time, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It means he's serious about making the right choice. Until then, he's not going to make you a priority. And frankly, can you blame him? In a world full of red flags and superficial connections, it's wise to be cautious.
Some people only date once and they get married. And then you have me in season 8, episode 7. I'm on my way to episode 8 right now.
Absolutely. It's all about the connection and accepting the flaws in each other. If she's watched too many shows and wants Mr. Perfect, she's going to keep waiting. The fantasy of a perfect partner is just that, a fantasy. Real relationships are built on understanding, compromise, and accepting each other's imperfections. If she's constantly looking for a flawless man who meets every single one of her high expectations, she's setting herself up for disappointment. The
Every
reality
time.
is that everyone has flaws. A successful relationship comes from recognizing and embracing those imperfections, not expecting a partner to be perfect. By holding out for Mr. Perfect, she's missing out on the opportunity to build a genuine connection with someone who may not check every box, but can offer a meaningful and fulfilling relationship. Her unwillingness to accept this reality is causing her to stay single. It's her own unrealistic standards that are to blame. Instead of seeking a perfect partner, she should focus on finding someone who values her, respects her, and is willing to work through the ups and downs of life together. The sooner she lets go of this idealized version of a partner, the sooner she can open herself up to real, meaningful connections. It's time for her to take responsibility for her own expectations and understand that true love isn't about finding a perfect person, but about finding someone whose flaws you can live with. And
That's it. You make that person perfect for you by choosing to be with that person. There's no person that's perfect. As much as someone loves a gorgeous person, they might not have the personality. They might not have the drive. They might not even have the same goals as you. Make sure the important things matter. The goals, the drive, the future you want to build together. Everything else, it's just extra, and it's nice if you get it, but doesn't mean it's necessary.
and whose presence brings joy and stability to your life. Put the blame solely on her. She needs to adjust her expectations and be open to the imperfections that come with any relationship if she ever hopes to find lasting happiness.
I have a question for the boys. How much does an oil change cost?
That's a great question. Why are you asking the boys, though? You should be asking the bear.
She should have also consulted other independent women for advice. Clearly, she's dealing with some emotional damage.
Must be sad to play the game and lose, and then you have your mom come and complain about the game. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.